Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. In the mid-1960s, the United States plunged itself into the Vietnam War and into the heart of controversy. And around that same time, a young man named Doug was graduating from high school. Now, Doug was patriotic, but he was also a little bit slow. He was lovingly nicknamed Dumb Doug. Not sure what to do with his life, he found himself at the military recruiters and joined the U.S. Navy. Very quickly, they moved him out to one of their ships off the Vietnam coast, right into hostile waters, right into the middle of the war. Now they could see that Doug, being a little bit slow, may not have had any other talents, at least that the Navy didn't have patience for. So they found him the perfect job. They let him sweep. He swept the ship inside and out, up and down. He was good. He took his time, and he had a lot of pride in what he was doing. One day, in hostile waters, he found himself somehow on the railing, and he fell overboard. And not more than 18 years old, Doug was in the water, in hostile waters, and his ship circled back around trying to get him safely up, but before they could do that, a North Vietnamese pontoon boat swept in and plucked him out of the water. Doug became a prisoner of war. And over the next few days, he traveled with his captors up to the infamous place called Hanoi, the Hanoi Hilton. And he met several other prisoners of war there. And he was immediately intimidated because they were all pilots that had been shot down. And all of the pilots were officers. And you see, Doug was enlisted. But they had generated a really ingenious way to communicate called the TAP code. Maybe you've heard of it. The alphabet is 26 letters, but if you combine the letters C and K, the alphabet becomes a 25-letter perfect 5x5 matrix. Pass this around. And how the tap code worked was the letter A was one tap, and then a pause, and then another tap. That was the letter A. And so slowly but surely, they would softly communicate with each other out of earshot of the prison guards. All day long, tap, 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 just very softly. Someone sneezed, they would tap GBY, for God bless you. Now, right away, the North Vietnamese prison guards could tell that Doug didn't have any great military secrets. He wasn't a pilot. He didn't know any vast plans. And there were many other prisoners of war there that were tortured because they did know secrets. But Doug was afforded a great privilege. He was given a broom. He was given a broom, and while everyone else was in their cell, Doug swept the compound. This is a large compound with many buildings. But he was very good at what he did. And everyone else was kept up. And very quickly, he realized that everyone could hear him sweeping. So combining the tap code on the bristles of his broom, he started communicating. Sweep, pause, sweep. That was the letter A on his broom. Same as the tap code. Very quickly, he became the camp loudspeaker. He would tap the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning on his broom, and he would sweep the Lord's Prayer at night on his broom. He became the camp morale. Dumb Doug with his broom. One day, he did something very unique. He swept his name. And then he swept his social security number. And then he swept his mom's name and her address, and then her phone number, and then his cellmate's name, and his contact information, and his next of kin. Wow. In short order, this enlisted man became everyone's favorite person. You see, they all wanted Doug to know his information. 583 prisoners of war wanted Doug to know their information. And see, the idea was, every day, Doug would sweep their information for the entire camp to hear. And they all learned each other's information. So if any of them escaped, or if they were released, they could tell everyone else that their loved ones were okay. This went on for years. Now can you imagine a North Vietnamese prison guard sitting back, maybe having a smoke, looking at Doug, sweeping all over the camp, very furiously, this clean camp. He's a little bit slow. They must have been thinking, wow, he really likes his broom. Well, the whole while, Doug is communicating everything right in front of their face. This went on for years. For many years, in fact, until about 1972, when the Vietnamese War was winding down. And the North Vietnamese guards, they knew it. They knew that the prisoners were going to be released soon. So as a goodwill gesture, they decided to release some non-essential personnel. And Doug was one of them. Now, he did not want to go. He did not want to leave. He wanted to stay behind with the camp, but you see, everyone else outranked him. Doug was ordered to be on that plane. He was on the plane with other members that were injured. And he landed in the United States safe and sound, and he reunited with his family. And then you can bet what he did next. Now, many of you have seen videotapes, or maybe even saw it live, of the tearful reunions of the prisoners of war returning from Vietnam and their families. But see, that wasn't the first time that they knew their loved ones were okay, because they had gotten a phone call from Dumb Doug earlier. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Dumb Doug wasn't so dumb. In fact, he may have been the lowest ranking person in that camp, but he certainly had the most power, and he was the smartest. Toastmaster.